All I asked was if one of you had heard who the next Lannister to die in Game of Thrones was going to be. There's no need for all of this hullabaloo. I know it's strong language, but you've driven me to it, you really have. Go look at that. Ooh, shiny skull. Ooh, but stab. Breakfast of champions. Yeah. Nope, 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 die already. Damn it. If that first swing had connected, would have got even a single blow on me. So, in that regard, I think we can count this as my flawless victory. Because I only got hit by a technicality. Technicality of having a ridiculously short weapon. That's an interesting, Hello. You're a big chappy, aren't you? That was an interesting little, well, intensely grey glow effect that just appeared for no apparent reason while we were walking inside. Slimes! Yeah. Someone really does need to tell Miyazaki that these particular enemies, they don't work outside of JRPGs, and by work, I use that in the very loosest of terms. The only reason they come across as even vaguely threatening in JRPGs is the turn-based nature of the beast. I'm poisoned. Goddamn. That's just not on. Think you'll find that's not cricket. God, of course I've got no moss. Why would I have moss? I didn't bother equipping the cleansing medical. I do have that though. Okay. Yeah. Didn't bother equipping it because I'm not in the goddamn swamp. Didn't think I was gonna need it. When did that become a thing actually? The statue that's... I've assumed that cloud they were spitting was like corrosive. Like acid cloud basically. It's not the colour that poison usually is in these games. Then again, it was bloody green in Dark Souls too, but we don't speak of that for many a reason. Yeah, that was definitely the acid cloud colour, so oh whatever. Do as you wish, lads. I swear to God, I've walked straight through that cloud, unlike various other characters. I've never even seen a status bar. Perhaps they were always supposed to deliver poison, just, I don't know, didn't. And now they do. That's, it's not... Is this not the tower that... Ah, right, it's the tower over there, isn't it? That's the one that takes me up onto the roof. This one is just here for moral support. Da-da-da-da-da-da. I know. What can I say? It's late at night, and I have many other things on my mind. So I'm currently editing and processing the final videos for Thief 2. Huzzah, huzzah, I know. It's taken me a lot longer than I thought it would. I think I've got like 5 more videos that I've got to finish off. So it's going to work out roughly sort of 55, 56 parts in total. Hey! I was off, but I don't need a hand. I've got it all under control. Thank you though, Giant Bro. If you just smack that little tip behind me, I'd appreciate it. Exploding bolts. Very nice. Not sure what happened there. Yeah, well. Probably just for the best we don't concentrate on too much. Just assume it all went well. Generally how it works for me. Afterward, did Giant Bro just smash the crossbow guy just now? Is that what happened? It'd be amazing if it was. Now you're going to be able to path back up here or you're going to get confused. When he's unconfused. Interesting enough, despite the fact that you can very blatantly and very easily knock the thieves from their perches, when you do, it seems to like just utterly break their AI. I don't get it. I can't believe for a second that From thought that nobody would ever do this. And like, just they can't handle it. Unless they detect you and drop themselves, they don't seem to know what to do. They stay in like their inactive state. That's supposed to be in process when they're That's what he did attack in the end there, didn't he actually? But yeah, he made no attempt to path back to where he should be, or to come and find me. He just stood there until I walked into visual range. Goddamn mimics. Well, yeah, I can see you breathing there. Unsubtle chest is unsubtle. I normally appreciate an unsubtle chest, but not today. Just use this from the menu because I'm too lazy to hotbar it. Yep. Just that weird sort of gargling noise they make when, yeah, the deep braille divine tome, or the deep divine braille tome, whichever. Of course, we should not be using that 'cause that's filthy dork magic. And even if we weren't playing as a pious man with a beautiful moustache and a beautiful mind, we wouldn't. I see you there. You're holding your weapon above the edge. Cock. Go away. I'm too angry about your friend. Nope. Yeah, I'm slowly starting to remember the fact I do actually have a shield, and shields can block as well as parry. You gonna grab me? No? You gonna grab me? No? I'm just gonna take it. I'm gonna take it and leave. Okay. Glad me and the slime understand each other. But yeah. Probably should have even bothered picking up bloody tomb. Should have just left it. Unfortunately, I don't think. I don't know. I don't think I can discard it. It counts as a key item, and those you can't discard because this game doesn't have the equivalent of that random chest in Hi, catch this, would you, lad? Yeah, that's the response. Man shoots you in the face with exploding bolts. You buff your weapon, your melee weapon. If you had a crossbow yourself that you'd buff, then I'd be impressed. As it stands, I'm mildly amused. But yes, this game doesn't have like the equivalent of that random chest in Firelink from the first game that would just magically house any items, key items that you happen to drop. Which I appreciated. I mean, the game enabled you full freedom in that respect. You could take this, awesome key of badassery that unlocks the next zone of window and chuck it in the bin, if you wanted. But the game would make sure that the key wasn't gone forever, so you didn't, lock yourself out of entire swathes of content. It allowed you to feel like a tit, but didn't punish you for being one. Whereas in this game, they've just decided to do a bit of unfrom-like hand-holding and just make it impossible to drop key items. Which I don't appreciate. At the moment, I feel rather like those people who complain when an OS is made more user-friendly. Usually by removing certain functionalities that the common person isn't going to use, so they just get rid of them from the from common view. Oh, I'm dancing. Look at this fancy footwork. You've got nothing on this, son. I was born on the street, Ow! Ow! No respect for the talented. Did you just heal? Motherfucker! Bloody well did. Ow! I'm kind of annoyed that shield bash comes out A so fast. And I'm pretty sure that if you hit them well, the shield bashing, it doesn't count against their stability. Yeah. Ow. Just such a ridiculous amount of damage. A shield bash should not do that level of damage. It should be a utility ability. I know, I rhyme. It should be, again, just something to knock your enemy off balance. Perhaps do like a tiny modicum of damage. There we go. Just for the sake of it, but it shouldn't actually be a viable strategy for just killing someone. It should be there purely as a, well, if it lands, it'll knock them off balance. Semi-guaranteed. And again, everything's guaranteed to knock you off balance in this game. You've got hyper armor or you got nothing. Which is basically the Bloodborne style. Except you don't have the Bloodborne rapid recovery from such things to complement it. Or the ability to dash halfway across the screen away after you recover. And heal within, a fraction of a second. There's a lot of things in this game where they've meshed together. Stuff from the Soul series and Bloodborne, and I don't think it entirely complements. I do have to wonder if the reason they got rid of Poise is because it doesn't play well with Bloodborne's engine, which obviously wasn't designed with such a thing in mind. It's fairly blatant here and there. They've reused. Hi there, lady. They've reused Bloodborne's engine, so I do have to wonder. No, come on, lady, please. Nah, my turn. Nope. No, you don't. Nope, shouldn't have rolled. You just kept walking. Camera, please. Well, that didn't work. Oh, oh, oh. Did I start yeah. Thank you, game. Thank you for locking me into a backstab animation while she was facing me. I know. The fact that I panicked and just started mashing roll to try and get out of the animation, that was my own fault. Still, I should have been locked in that animation to start with. It's a holdover from Dark Souls 2 in a way. It's one of the many attempts to balance out the latency issues in PvP. It's to add this like startup to things like backstabs and whatnot. And to parries these days too. So you don't have to worry, in theory, about people like backstabbing you on their screen and then you just instantly taking the backstab on yours regardless of where you are in relation to each other. On a face. Hi, yes I know you're still here. On each other's screens and such. You initiate the whole parry start, not parry start. Well, there is the backstab startup, so if they're in position on your screen, you initiate the startup, the game has a few seconds, well, a few microseconds, but you know, it's a lifetime to a computer, to check whether or not they are definitely in the same position in their game. And if they're not, you know, they just walk away and nothing happens. If they are, then congrats, you've backstabbed. And again, same sort of general theory in regards to the parrying. In theory. Never seems to work out that way though, does it? At least not for me. I've had situations where I haven't actually yet been teleport backstabbed. But I've had situations where I'm certain that I should have cleared enough distance to get out of the backstab, and then they sort of suddenly taken a step forward and still connected. Which I think is I don't know, that might still actually be a teleport backstab. Just, it's like they're teleporting to me rather than the other way around. Which is a little hard to notice, but still bullshit. Still incredibly janky. Well, this is janky souls. We know this. We love this, we embrace this. Alright, now go get the items I want. Although, I'm trying to remember where the coal allows you to actually use it is located. Should I have it by now? Or is it in another area? Honestly can't remember. The Pacific coal that allows you to do blessed upgrades. I can't remember for the life of me where it's actually located. Can't remember which one it is actually. I know there's the profaned coal down the bottom of Refill dungeon that allows you to do bleed, poison, and hollow. The Farron coil I've already got is fire. It's fire, heavy, and sharp, is it? I think, maybe. What is the one that allows you to do blessed? Presumably it's the same one that allows you to do deep and dark as well. That's a general linked theme. Perhaps even lightning. Actually, no, I think lightning's a different coil again, isn't it? Stop interrupting me when I'm thinking. Stupid hollows. I don't think that 4 killed him either. Yeah, my soul character didn't go up. He's still alive down there. I'm just incredibly pissed off. I have a very sore rear. Apropos for the clergy. I had to get that in there. That's the priest said to the quiet boy. I have to remove myself. I still want one of those guys to drop me their flamberge. Had quite some fun in Dark 1 and Demon Souls using the flamberge. Don't know if it's actually any good in this game. Never used it in Dark 2, I think, although it was in there. It's been in every game. Very pretty. Although I gotta admit, this does look like a level literally ripped straight from Bloodborne, doesn't it? Just the huge cathedral with like a weird otherworldly sky going on and just things growing out of the building. or sort of tree, and some might even say eldritch. I think the only thing that really makes it more soulsy than Bloodborne, if that's even a word, is like the enemy types we're finding around here, like the hollows and things, and the thieves, and which are all sort of more sneaky, and they've got a bit more tool, a bit more cunning and such than the beasts did. Get out of here. And of course, like the huge ash giants, which are it seems to be each of me, are they getting bigger and bigger in each bloody game. Well, I'll say that actually, the ones down there are probably around about the same size as ow. It's good old Alfred, aren't they? The Tower Knight from Demon Souls. Perhaps it's telling of the the hardware and whatnot, and the new extremes we can push things to. The fact we've got two of these mammoth things in the same general area. Whereas obviously Alfred was the only creature of such a size. Actually no, other bosses of similar or even greater size, of course. But they were limited to, particular sealed off boss rooms. But they could be loaded and unloaded as necessary. Just to have, creatures this size just dropped into the regular map though, that's something new. Sort of. Yeah, no, actually pretty good. I mean, the only other instance we had was Vanguard, and he was essentially in a blank area of the Storm of Shrines, wasn't he, really? If you don't count the manta rays, bye! Damn, you're stupid. This is your brain on the deep, kids. Don't do it, it's bad for you. And my reward? A blessed gem. Marvellous. Again, as soon as I can actually remember where the coal to allow me to upgrade with it actually is this Lothric shield, this Balder Knight shield in all but name. Shall be a blessed thingamabob soon enough. Because I like the idea of a bit of passive regen for my Man of Faith here. That fits the general sort of tankiness of his build. The idea, in addition to what's going to be eventually high defense and high health once I've finished upgrading his ridiculous bashing and miracle capacity. The idea that anytime you're not actively smacking him in the face, he's just getting better. He's healing. Ow! God damn it. It's your fault, Matt. Or Max, I should have actually read that, rather than taking an arrow to the face. But yes, where was I going with this? Oh, in case you're wondering why I didn't go to the optional area to meet Rosaria, to be quite frank, she's completely unimportant to the theme of this playthrough. And of course it's in general, actually. Isn't a character I plan to use for invading. I may use him for some jolly cooperation a bit later on, but yeah, this is not an invasion build. It's really just not set up for it. Like, the weapon I'm using, decent damage, but it's a short range. In PvP, I'd be lucky to hit anyone. Not to mention she's got such an obvious start, but almost definitely get parried. Yep, he's gone. Good. Hi. Ow. That was rude. That was incredibly rude, in fact. Right. Let's go back over here real quick. Because there should be... Hello? Anytime today? I said there should be... Come on, the trigger of the radio somewhere, I know it is. Oop, fuck. Poison mist. Does it only work when you come from the other way, maybe? Ah, there it is. NPC invasion. Not sure why it took so long to spawn in. I can only assume it's like there's some sort of trigger point near that doorway and you have to be in the area for a certain amount of time before it triggers. Similar to the way the Kirk invasions work down in like the depths and things. You have to go past the trigger point and then the game basically counts down. That didn't work. A certain amount of time before it yeah, that was a bad time to attempt it. Oh god, he's doing a lot of damage per swing, isn't he, before bloody barbed straight sword of all things. Why am I suddenly so crap at parrying? What's going on here? Ow! Wow, we did not even vaguely comparable damage there, did we? Bonk. Bonk. There you go. Took 4 swings to get you to half health, really? That's... Ow, ow, ow. You can... That's interesting. Not only did he somehow make his way out of my attack, but he was able to attack... Recovering from stagger, he was able to attack faster with that sword. That was to swing my mace while continuing a combo. That's going to have some terrible implications for PvP. Like someone's using, like, presumably a straight sword. If they can tank 2 hits of whatever you're attacking them with, they can then just interrupt you and launch into a combo of their own. That, yeah. And imagine that, assuming it's the same for all, weapons, that after 2 hits, you recover enough, I don't know, can't call it poise, whatever's going on, you use it, ow! Assuming with all weapons, you recover fast enough that you then get to launch an attack of your own after taking 2 hits. Straight sword's going to be fast enough just to put you back into stagger. If that's what's going on here. Okay, that's got some terrifying implications in the old PvPs. It's been weird actually, it's like since Dark Souls, well since Dark Souls 2, of course, the root of all evil, straight swords have had a ridiculously unfair, like speed to damage to weight ratio. Especially when you... I think Dark Souls 2 eventually learned its lesson about just, not having a proper poise mechanic. But if you have a situation like we've got now, where, again, no poise, you're relying on hyper armor to protect you from being staggered out of attacks if you're using a slower or larger weapon. Something like a straight sword, just the sheer speed at which it attacks, it's going to always knock you out of your attack. Unless you're lucky enough, or admittedly skilled enough, to activate hyper armor quickly enough. And even then, like, a decent straight sword user, not just a spammer, is going to recognise they've failed to stagger, get 2 hits anyway, and then just dodge out the way. That's just the sheer speed of the weapon. I don't know, things like the, I think the Dark Sword recently got a nerf to its, I'm assuming it's damage. I haven't actually properly read into this yet. It's either its damage or its swing speed has been nerfed, as I understand it. Making it a little less likely to, yeah, if you combine it with the fact that it seems possible to escape combos after 2 hits, like guaranteed basically, from any weapon. Actually, I need to try out my Lucky Pirate mode. See if the Grave Warden Twin Sword, like insta-bleed combo has been patched out. For those of you who don't know, it used to be a case of, I say used to, it might still be there. It was a case that, if you buffed the Grave Warden's Twin Blade with Corpse Rouge, and then initiated a R1 followed by an L2 and an R2, you would do a single slash, initiating a stagger. L2 was a spin attack, hitting twice, I think? Was it twice or 3 times? And then R2 would again hit another 2 or 3 times. Quickly enough after the L2 that they wouldn't have a chance to roll away. Oh, Giant's Tower. Cool, I'm on the other side of that now. And the bridge leading back into Lothric. We will go up there eventually, actually. Well, we have come to think of it. What a jolly good time that's going to be. What did I pick up just now? Did I look at this? Umbrelash, Paladin, Salt the Cathedral of the Deep, blah blah, don't really care about that. The Waldbrain Tome, intended to teach divine protection to the deacons of the deep, but later dark tales were added to its pages. Dark, deep, horrible pages. Sonic fanfictions. Yeah, basically the Gargoyle Bident from Dark Souls 2, with some extra holy damage, I think, added, basically. I don't think... I think as of the most recent patch, which added a buff to holy damage in general, it's not actually half bad weapon to use these days. I really need to get some offensive miracles so I can start looking at exactly how much of a buff holy damage has gotten. However, it's just holy damage to weapons that's been increased, and that's not going to affect miracles at all. This is what happens when you play these games like semi-seriously. Every time a patch comes out, you have to start testing. Well, so you don't have to. You could just wait and look at the results other people have looked at, but you know, as much as it probably sounds ridiculous to some folks out there, it was actually a sort of a fun. I won't call it a joy, the usual stretching, but there is a fun in like figuring out what's been changed. Like, you know, certain tactics and certain builds still work, or have the damage outputs changed, you know, for the better or for the worse. Because believe it or not, sometimes damage outputs changing for the better, depending on how From have balanced things like stagger and what, can actually work out negatively in your favour. I know, it doesn't sound like it makes sense. But like, if something's got a buff to damage, it's usually had a penalty added somewhere else. Usually, not always. There are infamous cases where From have failed to add a proper counterpoint or penalty, or giving something extra damage. Yes. I think it's interesting to find these things out. Then again, I am, as my lovely young lady assures me, a complete nerd, so whatever, right? Fine. And I can say that in complete security, knowing that she refuses to watch the Dark Souls videos, so ha ha ha. Although, I am starting to think about what my next project after Thief 2 is going to be. I know that Tick wants me to launch straight into Thief 1. I've already said that I'm not going to continue doing like 2 LPs simultaneously. I'm going to focus on just finishing Dark Souls 3. Or at least well, we'll see. I'm going to do Dark Souls 3 sort of as a solo OP for a little while, at least, anyway. We'll see how things go afterward. But I've been considering actually making my second LP, because going my own, massively, yeah, did that roll far too quickly now. But knowing my own preferences and whatnot, and my own limits of attention and such, I've been thinking that, does that affect you? No? You don't care about the Alluring Skull? Interesting. Yes, I've been considering doing something a bit different from my usual fare. And in that regard, I recently bought up and started playing the HD remaster of Grim Fandango off the PSN store. Because there was a little sale going on, it worked out cheaper than getting it on Steam. And in all honesty, I know playing what was traditionally a PC game on a console probably seems sacrilege to those who played the original, but my experience with the original Grim Fandango was like, my god, that taint. Beautiful. Geiger would be proud. But yeah, my experience. Wow, you squashed the worm monster, didn't you? Good on you, big guy. But yeah. Ooh, the Drang Hammers. I'll need to look into whether those have been, you know, patched or nerfed or buffed or whatever else have you. Because I was considering using those. Considering how they stacked up against my generic mace here. It's in cases where I just want like maximum damage, maximum DPS. The sort of the twin weapons, like the combos you can do with them, they work out really well in that regard. Especially if you slap on like a pine resin or some such. Or a proper buff if you've got one. Hi! No, thank you. I'm warm enough already. Jolly nice swim though to offer. Ember, can't say no to that. Well, I could. I'm not going to. Would be the more accurate term, I suppose. So yeah, I'm probably going to give that a go. I just want. It's been a while since I did sort of a non-mainstream game, as incredibly hipster as that makes me sound. But I want to do something a bit more. Well, I say that, but I suppose technically the earlier Thief games aren't particularly mainstream anymore. But even so, I want to do something a bit. I want to do something that is both a bit more retro, despite the remastering, and also just a bit different, really. I don't know. I suppose it's the same as when I did like when I've done like various elements of the Portal series and such. Just something that's a bit more, brain based, for want of a better term. I want to stretch my intellect a touch, rather than just my reflexes. So I've been debating. I think that might be where I go. I might do Grim Fandango alongside Dark Souls 3, and then do Thief 1 after that. I'm going to choose to take that as agreement from a little lady. Just messaging me just at the end of my... Well, yeah, this is going to be the end of this particular session anyway. I've got to go back, do some upgrading and whatnot. And then I'll come back and take on the Deacons of the Deep. I know this wasn't a particularly in-depth run of the area. There is in fact a little room with a horrible spider monstrosity that many people are probably hoping I get mauled by. Because you all are terrible, terrible people after all. You're on my channel, you must be. But no such luck. So I'll see you all next time. Bye bye now.